Wim Stasius Muller, an accomplished pianist and composer, was born in 1930 on the island of Curacao. He started experimenting with the piano at age 4. His home country of Curacao and Aruba are known for their waltzes, danzas, mazurkas, and tumbas.
The tambour is a ritual, and tambour is much more rhythm and words, story, and there is dancing. And it's a very curious thing that they were so worried about, the Catholic Church and the colonials, but in the tambour, the dancers do not touch each other. It's an entirely different thing from what the non-black people in Curacao thought. And there was another one, but that is not a tambour. There were parties where decent people are not supposed to be.
In the 70s and the 80s, he lived and worked in the Netherlands as security officer for the National Security Office, and in Belgium and in Italy for the NATO. Wim is certainly the only composer of the 20th century who was also a sort of James Bond.
During the Cold War, Wim Stasius Muller was appointed to head a team of academics in the Dutch counterintelligence services. His job, along with his team, was to get into the skin of his opponents' ideologies and figure out their intention. His neighbors in The Hague in Holland did not know that a gentleman living next door was an accomplished pianist and composer. His music is based on rhythms on two origins, Afro-Caribbean and European.
Can you let us hear the difference between a European and an Antillean waltz first?
So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. It's always 3, 1. The rhythm is what you hear, the meter is what you see. But the rhythm of a waltz, a European waltz, is 3/4. The 4 stands for the length of the notes, the quarter notes. You have whole notes, half notes, quarter notes. And in every measure, there are in a waltz 3 quarter notes. So it's a 3/4 measure. And the 3/4 can be a rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But basically, the rhythmic impulse of a waltz, European waltz, is not with the accent on the 1, but usually with the accent on the 3. So you get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that it actually makes the waltz sound that moves better. And sometimes there are examples where the accent is on 2. For instance, there's take a Tchaikovsky, very famous waltz by Tchaikovsky. 1, 2, 3, 1. In our local waltzes, Venezuelan, Cuban, Curacao, Aruba, also Colombia. In fact, in Colombia they call it the pasillo. We also have the 3/4, but the 3/4, instead of using 3/4 notes, we start using 8 notes, which are, so you need 2 8 notes for every quarter. So you get in one measure, you get 6 notes, 6 beats. And there you get the trick that you can combine them like this, 2 groups of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 3 groups of 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you get your 2 rhythms, because you will play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in one hand, and you play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the other. And in the middle of the measure, you get what we call a syncopation. And that's the secret of the Creole waltz.
Yes.
In the first place, we are very pleased to have him come to St. Martin once more. He has been here already. And at this stage, that we are so-called independent, but still one with our brothers and sisters from the Leeward Islands, Aruba, Curacao, and our music blend. And it's wonderful to have him and to listen to him and see how that blend of music, Antillean music, and our lives as Antillians and Caribbean people, it's fantastic. We are enjoying it.
Jan Brucker is one of Holland's most highly regarded authors, screenwriter, journalist. He's a pianist himself who publishes novels and short stories.
I came Curacao in 1993. I am playing piano myself, and I was playing some mazurkas of Chopin. And then next day the neighbor came and he said, "Yeah, I heard you playing piano yesterday evening, and you played our music." I was very astonished, and I was playing mazurkas. He said, "Yes, this is our music." And then some weeks later there was a concert, and Wim Staats was playing there. And I heard mazurkas, Antillean mazurkas, and Antillean waltzes, inspired by Chopin. Well, I was really very astonished, and I was asking around, is there a book written on it? Why don't we know anything about that? Now, there was some little books or articles were written about it, but not much. So I decided to study first why this mazurka and why it became popular on an island as Curacao. Later on, I learned that also Guadeloupe, Martinique, Aruba, Cuba, the mazurka became very popular. And then I started really to study that, and then I was much in contact with Wim Staats, who knows a lot about the history of the Antillean music.
Tonight's concert is organized by the Classical Delight Foundation.
Well, Classical Delight is a foundation that is combined by all volunteers. We would like to bring more classical music and education to the community of St. Martin. We do that by organizing concerts, like 4, sometimes 5 concerts in a season. The season starts around September, October until April, May. And up front, the day before a concert, normally we have concerts on Thursday evening. The day before we invite different schools to come for a school concert in the morning from 10 to 11. And our experience is that the children are extremely delighted and very interested in the musicians.
Urien Wuite is a board member of the Prince Bernhard Cultural Funds. The Prince Bernhard Cultural Funds Foundation mission is to support cultural and nature preservation in the Netherlands, Aruba, Curacao, St. Martin, Saba-Statia, and Bonaire. The Cultural Fund emphasizes artistic excellence and educational initiatives.
It's the first opportunity that we indeed got to support this classical concert. Of course, they were more inclined, the board was more inclined because it is related to Wim Statius Muller, who originates from Curacao, there for the Antilles. But of course we are looking for a variety of opportunities, concerts, music, literature, performing arts, visual arts, science, nature, so we support a variety of initiatives. But this was the first one of its kind, and I've tried to support the foundation a couple of times already, but so far they were able to be self-supporting with the sponsorship, but this of course had some additional needs because there were some additional costs associated with it, so I was very happy that we indeed fell through and had an approval last year.
Wim Statius Muller was here before, and he has done a piano concert with his Antillean dancers before, and well, as you have heard yourself, he is a very gifted pianist, but also a gifted componist. And Jan Brokken, the writer from Holland, he is very interested in the cultural history, the history of music, in different composers, as you heard in his story. And he wrote the book, Why 11 Antilles Kneeled for the Heart of Chopin. And that was basically one of the reasons that they started performing together, as in a concert, including a lecture.
Muller called his Calypso Opus 2, number 4, El Curacao. That was more than a joke. He wanted to show the musical similarities between Trinidad and Curacao. What the belle is for Trinidad is the tambour for Curacao. And also the tambour had a strong influence on the Antillean music. All dances got a stronger rhythm on Curacao. The waltz, the mazurka, and even the calypso. And if you don't believe it, listen to this Calypso El Curacao, written by Wim Statius.
Okay, we are hearing more about Curacao and Aruba. That's because not much is written of St. Martin's music, but it's definitely there, you know, because it was exchanged. And when our people went to Aruba and Curacao for their work, they brought back up that music with them, and the music of Aruba and Curacao and St. Martin and the other islands around, it blended.
When you want to know really something about a country, an island, ask people, what's your music? Then you can look right in the heart of someone, in the soul of someone from St. Martin or Martinique or Guadeloupe. This old mazurka that was played this evening by an orchestra from Martinique, that is so special.
The most difficult instrument, I think, in the end, is the piano. For the reason that there has been so much literature has been written for the piano. You cannot play them all in one lifetime. It's impossible. There's an awful lot of it, and so much great music. And then there's the advantage of the piano, which makes it extra difficult, is that you've got 88 keys at your disposal. They're all there. Everything can be played on the piano. You got a whole orchestra. It's not quite the same sound, but you can play everything that can be played by an orchestra can be played on the piano as well.
A tarde corta bonita, ora con solo tabaja, ora turparata canta feliz,
Wim Statius Müller will have the honor of receiving the Silver Carnation of the Prince Bernhard Cultural Fund in June of this year. He was nominated for his immense contribution as a composer and pianist in the Curacao music.
People from small islands have a habit of becoming rather cosmopolitan. They move out, they want all kinds of, they always come back, they always do. I think I've come back in my whole life, which is many years, of course. I've left Curacao several times, but I've come back every time, again. Sometimes once the first time, you come not for visits, but to live. The last period was I just spent about 25 years, my wife and I, 25 years in Europe. But then I retired, and where do you go? Well, yeah, you come back to Curacao.